Welcome to the Two Guys, One Coup podcast with Dale and Jim, where the truth matters and progressives' feelings don't. We bring you the facts from the perspective of two average, everyday guys who will never apologize for being America first, for adhering to our great Constitution, and for saluting the flag that our brothers and sisters have fought and died for. And now, here's Dale and Jim.
Good start to the week. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Two Guys, One Coup podcast, episode 39, our special BLM edition, Babies Lives Matter.
Yep.
Jim, how are you?
Actually, pretty good.
I am too.
I can honestly say that some good things happened, and we'll get into that. But had a good weekend. How about you? Everything good?
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Did something happen though over the weekend that
after our last show? Yeah. I'm not sure. It seems like something's going on. I know Antifa's back at it again. I mean, this is, so something must have happened.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of babies in wombs right now that are dancing and celebrating, but hey.
But why? Yeah. But damn it, those pro-life women, they certainly are. They are mad as hell, aren't they?
And what I have found, and again, we can go into a lot of this as we get going, but what I have found in my argument with people that I've had over the weekend, it all resorts down.
Wow.
It all resorts down to, again, free. I'm sorry, it's free. Some people can't afford to get, if they get pregnant, then if they can't afford to have a baby, maybe they need to have some protection more than what they have and stuff.
Because birth control's free.
But I look at it from this standpoint, it should never be a form of birth control. And you and I have stated that from the beginning. There's so many options out there.
And the numbers state it. And as as our medical advances move forward, there's even more options, and there was more ability to not get pregnant. The people out there screaming, out there about this, do not. I got to be honest with you. I don't think they understand what happened. I think it was a matter, and it was a matter for them to get paid to protest again. I know there's a lot of that going on.
Oh yeah,
and so the destruction and all that they're doing, it was just another reason for them to do it. Do you think anybody sits back and thinks, this is the way we ought to, we're on your side because you're out there destroying property and screaming like weirdos, psychotic weirdos.
I always pull it when they talk about, well, you're a man, you can't, because how many times have we been told that, right? I've been told that a lot. Here's a man arguing with, and I said, well, you know what? I'm speaking on behalf of, and I said, my wife, my daughter, my mother, my aunts, and all the women that are pro-life. I'm speaking on their behalf because they seem to be okay with it. They don't think it's the government telling them what to do with their bodies.
Here's another, and here's another one that was thrown at me this weekend. There are so many kids out there, unwanted kids out there. What have you done? What have you done for that? I said, well, first of all, I didn't kill my children. Is that not enough?
Yeah.
I did not kill them.
Yeah.
We raised them. They're upstanding citizens and adults. Is that not what we're supposed to do? So that wasn't good enough for him. No, you need to go adopt 50. You need to go. And then I got another one, Jim. I see there was one. I work in the foster care industry. I don't even know what that meant. Industry. I didn't know it was an industry.
Yeah, it is.
But well, it's a moneymaker for some, that's for sure. But I work in the foster, and there's so many children that are unwanted out there and abused. And I'm like, so we should just kill them because their life is worth less? Is that your argument to me?
See, the point is
we should have killed them because their life's worth less.
Try adopting a baby.
Mm-hmm.
You have to wait. You have to wait to adopt a baby. The kids that we're talking about in foster care or stuff like that are kids where parents are shitbags who lost their kids for whatever reason.
Correct.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that as a whole. There are some tragic things that happen to some kids. So I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to say that. But, most of the time the parents lose the kid. They lose the child because they're either on drugs or they
Child
beating.
Protective Services has to remove them from the home.
Yeah, so those are children. And, we support them. I mean, we give money constantly because it does. You go to these places that say, will you donate an extra so for? Yeah, we do that. And but if it comes to that, and if it's people out there, say, well, what are you going to do for these kids? And well, then maybe we all should talk. Maybe we should all to talk about, okay, maybe we do need to help these kids in these homes. What should we do? Maybe become foster parents, and maybe. so that person's not wrong. Let's do something, but let's talk about it. Let's not burn stuff down. Let's not threaten people's lives and stuff. But the whole difference is these are children that apparently the parents wanted them, or they would have aborted them.
Correct, because they had the ability to do so.
Yeah, so that argument that person made makes no sense. But because abortion talking about babies.
And you know what? Based on the Supreme Court ruling this past Friday, they still have the ability to abort them.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
You just may have to get in your car and drive, but yeah.
Or maybe not. Yeah. In Oregon, they're burning shit down, and you can go kill a baby whenever the hell you want there.
That's what amazes me. All the places that this, a lot of, not all of them, a lot of the places that this is going, Oregon, California, in New York, you're going to be able to abort the baby into the third trimester up to delivery in some cases.
Exactly.
So why are they burning shit down?
That's right. So let me ask you this question. Do you believe this? And then we'll get into the whole thing. We just kind of jumped right in because obviously that's the news taking over the world right at the moment. Supreme Court's on a roll, by the way.
Did you see the next one that's going in?
Yes. Anyways, more on that later. But
I'll add to that. They don't touch gay marriage, and I think that's just a rumor. I think that people.
I think so too. I don't think
so. For you people out there, they're not going to get rid of
gay marriage.
They're not going to do that. That's just people out there spouting off about. Oh, now they're going to do this. No, that's not what they're going to do.
It's still am I wrong, Jim? Is gay marriage still a state's?
Yeah, but most states, it is. So the federal government, I believe, has allowed, as far as the federal government, and I think Donald Trump supported this. I'm going to be honest with you, that it is federally. It's recognized everywhere. There's still some states that might have some hinder, but so don't panic. Okay. Homosexuals will still be able to get married, which they should. I don't think their rights should ever be infringed upon. But let's not. When we talk about this abortion bill, overturning Roe v. Wade, let's not go out there, because I've had people from that I know very well that were putting out there, now they're going to ban birth control.
How does that even make sense?
Some people might do the morning after pill. They might ban that because that is technically an abortion, to an extent. But
I'm not in agreement with that. I don't think that should be banned.
No, I don't either.
To be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. And if a state does that, they're going a little bit too far. But I agree. I think going to the extreme Plan B, and I think all of that, I think should be available to people. Because
I do too.
If condoms break, shit like that happens. But the whole point of what we're trying to say here is there's options for you to prevent a pregnancy. And then if you get pregnant, there's options.
Still options.
Yes. You can still kill it. If you're in Illinois, you're still going to be able to kill the baby.
Yeah, you're still
all right. And if you're in Indiana and they don't allow you to do it after a certain amount of time, then
drive north.
Well, after a certain period of time, it's a baby, guys. It's a baby at conception. Okay, we can discuss that. So if a state has 6 weeks, up to 6 weeks, or 12 weeks, whatever we're at, if you want to abort it after 12 weeks, you're sick, but you can go to another state to have it done. I mean, so it's just the argument. And of course, what about the people that can't afford? My favorite one is the people that can't afford to do that. And
I love that one too. Maybe you shouldn't have decided to have unprotected sex.
You think? So anyway,
So let me tell you what. When you first were married, when I was first married, could we afford a baby? No. You never can afford a baby, right? It costs a lot of money. They are, It's work, it's effort, but you made a conscious decision to do something that would create a baby. So therefore, you ought to do the damn thing and raise the baby.
Right.
That is your responsibility. I love the argument too that, well, it's a woman's choice. You can't, if she wants to abort, then she can abort. Okay. What if she doesn't want to? So, and as a man, I have no say so in it. It's her body, her choice, right? Which we all know it's not her body. It's somebody else's body in there. Right. But
exactly.
If that's the case and she decides I want this baby, but I'm the man, I'm an asshole. I'm the man. I'm like, I don't want that baby. After it's born, do I have to take care of it or pay child support or raise it? Well, you damn right I do.
Yep.
One of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's never the man's choice.
Well, I think in some cases,
and either one is what they're saying.
If somebody has a baby, and they don't like the father of the child, or they won't put the father's name on the birth certificate.
On the birth certificate.
So where's the father's rights there?
Exactly.
No, anyway.
Exactly. I saw one protester at a rally holding a sign that said, "Don't force this on anyone," while she's got her 2 kids standing next to it.
Yeah. Well, my favorite one is you can be pro-choice. You can be anti-abortion, but you can be pro-choice. That's, because they wouldn't do it. They say, I wouldn't do it, but I won't tell a woman that she can't do it. And
a lot of people say that. That's the argument.
Okay,
I wouldn't do it, but
I don't know about your parents.
Yeah,
but when my parents had children, okay, they didn't have a lot of money. Matter of fact, I would say probably to the point that they had as much money as what some of the poor individuals have in this country.
Yeah,
and they didn't have all the options to do. By the way, when they had kids, but they had my sister, and then 11 months later had my brother. So that's 2 children of the age of 1 years or younger that they have to support this. So they chose to keep them. They didn't abort those children. Thank God. Because and then they had me, and then they had my younger sister. They never had a lot of money when we were growing up, but abortion was never a thought. Never. And so it's all these individuals out there, because that's the biggest thing they're doing right now is someone can't afford it, because we have all these babies now that are poor and people can't afford it and everything else. And I said, well, I think my whole point is I think we have other solutions out there than to kill the baby.
Yeah,
I think there should be other options. And then of course my favorite one that they always do is the can't afford to feed people. So this is an option for population control.
Population control. That's right.
Oh my God. So the good news is though, Pink helped me decide that I don't need to listen to her anymore, because I actually enjoy her music, but now she doesn't want me to listen to anymore. So
I won't listen.
And Green Day, I didn't even know they were still around.
Yeah, I know. I renounce my citizenship, the lead singer for Green Day. If nobody knows who Green Day is, they're a really shitty band.
Yeah. But so let's go ahead and help them. Give him a plane ticket out of here. I don't care.
That's right.
You do whatever the hell you want.
We'll see if he renounces his citizenship. It's just like all the people that when Trump won, they were moving to Canada. Yep, still here.
And Pink needs to be careful, because I guarantee you there's a lot of pro-life people that listen to her. So
they don't care. They don't care what the ramifications are, and it's fine. But so guys, listen. First of all, again, welcome. Thank you for your continued support. There's going to be a lot of discussion this show on this exact thing we're talking about now, because there's some interesting things we need to talk about.
And we're hoping we identify some things you haven't heard yet. Obviously there's going to be some things we talk about that you're familiar with.
Correct.
But we're going to try to go a little different route on this. And again, like I keep trying to say, for those of you that are pro-choice, calm down.
Just calm down.
Let's wait for the dust to settle to see what your states actually do.
Okay. Jim, before we get into before we just move on with this, it's not really even a segment. We're just going to but we will. The Democrats had 50 years to codify this into law. Did they not?
Yep. Yep.
Did they not have 50 years to codify this into law?
Yep.
They didn't. They knew 5 weeks ago that this decision was going to come out.
Mm-hmm.
What did they do since then? Not a thing.
Right.
You know what they're doing now about it?
Going nuclear.
Sending out text messages and emails. Donate.
Yep.
Give me $25 to fight these Republicans. Yeah. That's what they're doing now. That was their game plan. So they've had a lot of time to change this, and they've had control over those years to go ahead and change this law. They didn't. And last thing I'm going to say is, do you think the Supreme Court went and seeked out this? Or did it go to the Supreme Court because other courts could not decide on it?
It was a liberal movement because of this. Anyway, we can go into it in detail. For those of you who don't know how it started, but it started basically because a leftist person.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just how stupid they are. But anyway, let's go ahead and do
Jim, let's get into the show. You're up first.
All right, so we got a lot of things to talk about. We'll talk about abortion, and then we got some other things to call later. But everybody always talks about, because for those of you who don't know, when Roe v. Wade came around, the reference was in the 14th Amendment. So I went ahead and printed off the 14th Amendment in case you guys didn't know. But the reason the 14th Amendment came into play, the 14th Amendment was passed by Congress in 1866 and ratified in 1868. It extended both civil and legal rights for black citizens who were formerly enslaved, granting citizenship to all persons born or naturalized in the United States, and also ensured rights to those in states where discriminatory laws were in place. Okay. So basically, that's what the law was. Okay.
Yep.
So now we go into... Then we go into right for because we can always amend them, right? That's why amendments are there. The 14th Amendment states that no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens of the United States, nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, or deny to any person within a jurisdiction the equal protection of the laws. Dale, I am not a scholar. Well, you are not. I'm a scholar, but I am not a lawyer or a constitutional scholar. Yep. Where in there does it even come close to referencing abortion?
It doesn't.
Is it in life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness?
I mean, would that not be? It's the right to privacy thing. I don't understand that. That whole thing is like, what does that got to do with abortion? I mean, it's not like I don't know, Jim.
So here's what
it was based on the precedent was set on very loose arguments.
Here's what the 14th Amendment. Here's what the 14th Amendment had to do with Roe v. Wade. Writing for the majority opinion in Roe v. Wade, Justice Harry Blackmun said that the court held a woman's right to an abortion was implicit in the right to privacy. There it is. Protected under the 14th Amendment. However, while the Supreme Court ruled in favor of a woman's right to choose, it also acknowledged the state's interest in protecting the potential human life.
Wait, whoa, Jim.
Did you hear? Yep. So you caught that.
Interest. The state's interests.
Yep.
We the people. Okay.
And that is referenced many times. Okay. But so the balance of competing interests, the courts established a trimester framework for the legality of abortions. First trimester up to 12 weeks gives a woman an absolute right to an abortion in the first 3 months of pregnancy. That's what this did. Okay. Yep. Second trimester up to 28 weeks allows the government to regulate abortion in order to protect the mother's health, but cannot ban it. Yep. So when this was created, that the only time in the second semester you can get one is women's health, right? That's
correct.
That's what. Third trimester, up to 40 weeks, because the fetus is considered viable. See,
but that so before you go on and just keep your
go
point,
ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt, but that viability law has come down in weeks based on the medical advances in prenatal care and NICU units and stuff like that. But go on. So it's lowered. It's down like 24 weeks or something now.
Exactly. But it also states that can survive on its own outside the womb about 24 weeks of pregnancy. States can prohibit abortion except in cases where the mother's life is at risk. So, folks, the state has always had the right to do whatever. They couldn't ban it according to the federal law, but they could adjust. Correct. They could make adjustments. Okay. Then, of course, my favorite time of the year, then in 1992, the trimester framework was overturned in a ruling of the Supreme Court case known as Planned Parenthood versus Casey.
Thank God.
Yeah. Through the justice reaffirmed a woman's right to an abortion under Roe. They also gave states more leeway, in regulating them in all 3 trimesters. So basically all of this says is, and here's my favorite one. Among the laws and policies in place as a condition to receive an abortion, some states require, I think they all should require, but anyway, a 72-hour waiting period after mandated abortion counseling, a medically unnecessary pre-abortion ultrasound, all methods, even the abortion pill, be offered in clinics that meet hospital-like standards, and abortion to be performed by a licensed physician, banning coverage of abortion in private insurance plans. All right. So there were, as we go into this, there were, so for all you people out there, states already had the right to do whatever they wanted to. They could do it in 6 weeks. They could do it in 8 weeks. They can do it 12 weeks, whatever they wanted to ban. They can have it all the way through. Okay. Actually, that wasn't allowed until recently. So I love how changes made. Right? Yeah. I love how changes made to this stuff only affect, they don't care unless it affects something else. But anyway, go ahead, Dale.
And another thing is that they sure loved the Supreme Court when the 7 justices back then in 1973, implemented Roe versus Wade, but they hate him now because, but go on. Yeah.
But real quick.
And they were all men back then.
Real quick.
All men made that decision.
And I want to bring this up for those of you out there who feel the women's rights or, the government stepped in. There was a certain bill that was passed that was called the Unaffordable Care Act.
Yeah.
That had a requirement in there that if you don't have insurance, you have to pay a penalty. That was unconstitutional. That, in fact, was unconstitutional.
Yep.
I didn't hear all these people complaining about that because they were, in fact, telling us what we had to do.
Exactly.
And then fast forward to wearing masks, getting vaccinations. They didn't seem to care then. It was my body, my choice, but they didn't give a shit about it. So
follow the science, they said, except when the science is either gender related and or when life starts.
Just like climate change.
Doesn't matter.
Science doesn't matter to them. So go ahead, Dale. Go. What do you have?
Yeah, I want to add on to this because the puppet in charge. His stance on abortion, I think it's just very interesting to see what the leader of the free world has gone through as far as his evolution on this. All right. And where his stances were and what he believed in, because as you'll see, he kind of just kowtows to whatever the party wants. And he kowtows to whatever the topic of the day is and which direction it should go on abortion specifically. This is going to take a minute, but stay with me and let me run down this. So Joseph Biden In 1974, a year after Roe versus Wade was decided, he said the ruling had gone too far and that a woman seeking an abortion should not have the sole right to say what should happen to her body. That's in quote. 1974, a year after Roe v. Wade. In 1976, he votes for the Hyde Amendment, which bans federal funding on abortion. He voted for it.
Right.
Federal funding on abortion. In 1981, he introduces the Biden Amendment, which prohibits foreign aid funding of biomedical research involving abortion. It's an amendment named after him. In 1992, he votes for a constitutional amendment allowing states to overturn Roe versus Wade. In 1982, Joe Biden voted to overturn Roe versus Wade. In 1983, he votes against the constitutional amendment allowing states to overturn Roe versus Wade. So in 1982, he votes for a constitutional amendment allowing states to overturn Roe versus Wade. In 1983, a year later, he voted against it. So in 1984, he votes for the Mexico City policy, which bans federal funding for abortions. We're up to 1987, folks. It gets quicker. But in 1980, this is flip-floppy Joe here. In 1987, he becomes chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee and leads the fight against Supreme Court on abortion. In 1994, he says those of us who are opposed to abortion should not be compelled to pay for them. So now, back in 94, again, he's flopped. In 95, he votes to ban partial birth abortion.
Which should have been.
In 97, he votes to ban partial birth abortion again. In 2003, he votes to ban partial birth abortion again. In 2007, he criticizes the Supreme Court decision upholding the ban on partial birth abortion, calling it paternalistic. So you heard from 95, 97, 2003, he votes to ban partial birth abortion.
Right.
In 2007, he criticizes the Supreme Court decision upholding a ban on partial birth abortion. In 2008, he says he is opposed to overturning Roe versus Wade. So now in 2008, he's opposed to it. In 2012, he says the government does not have a right to tell other people that women, they can't control their body. In 2019, he says he's opposed to the Hyde Amendment, which bans federal funding on abortion. Let me go back a second here. In 1976, he votes for the Hyde Amendment.
Right.
In 2019, he's opposed to the Hyde Amendment. Something he voted for.
Right.
In 2020, this takes us up to now, 2020, and what he believes also to this day. He supports abortion, in quote, under any circumstances. Well, we've just seen the evolution of Joey and which direction his party's telling him to go at the time. That's always been Joe Biden. He's never been able to think for himself. You heard it all. You heard exactly all of this.
Yep.
So he's never been the same. It's whatever anybody tells him. Jim, what are your thoughts on Joe Biden and his flip-flopping on abortion?
In all honesty,
par for the course.
That was the course. See, when he was running, that was the joke. Flip-flop Joe. I mean, he would always, he never was consistent with anything he did. I mean, let's keep in mind, guys, he was, this is a little bit of a change. I just want to say this. This is the same president that when they were talking about with Byrd, okay, that they were talking, Democrats, by the way, when we're talking about desegregating in schools and letting, I think he was actually quoted in saying, I don't want my children going to school with them.
Yep. He was.
This is a guy who has not been good. He just happens to be a senator in his state that liked him for whatever reason.
Yep.
But he's not a good guy. I mean, he's
not a good guy.
Just look at his stuff with Russia if you want to get into it. But anyway, go on.
No,
you have more?
Yeah. So that's what I got on that. I have, I do have some kind of things on some of the wackos and what they're
okay. Well, let me add something.
Out there.
Can I talk about Alito real quick? Okay,
I want you to.
Alito did a 10. Basically, he did 10 quotes from what he felt about it, and I'm not going to read all of them because it will be.
Yeah.
But so Alito detailed how abortion was viewed pre-Roe. Okay, not only was there no support for such a constitutional right until shortly before Roe, but abortion had long been a crime in every single state. A common law, abortion was criminal in at least some stages of pregnancy and was regarded as unlawful. Okay, so this is what he said leading up to this, Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
Roe, and then he said Roe was egregiously wrong. EGREGIOUSLY. Egregiously.
Sometimes, Jim.
I don't know. Sometimes,
Jim. I feel like I'm watching Porky Pig tell me a story.
Roe was wrong from the start. Its reasoning was exceptionally weak, and the decision has had damaging consequences. As far from bringing about the national settlement of abortion issue, Roe and Casey have inflamed debate and deepened division. It is time to heed the Constitution and return the issue of abortion to the people's elected representatives. In other words, the state.
We the people.
Okay, so Alito's confusion over what the 14th Amendment protects, because this is what you and I have. I mean, this. Anyway, in interpreting what is meant by the 14th Amendment reference to liberty, we must guard against the natural human tendencies to confuse what the amendment protects with our own ardent views about the liberty that Americans should enjoy. That is why the court has long been reluctant to recognize rights that are not mentioned in the Constitution. So, in other words, this abortion should never have been referenced in the 14th Amendment. You had somebody that was searching to find some way to put it in there. Now, here's why I wanted to say this, okay? Alito dismisses the claim decision will lead to reversals on same-sex marriage and contraception. Finally, the dissent suggests, so the justice who wrote the dissent was talking about this, okay? But remember, the three that voted against it were liberals, okay? Finally, the dissent suggests that our decision calls into question Griswold, Einstadt, Lawrence, and Obergefell, but we have stated unequivocally that nothing in this opinion should be understood to cast doubt on precedents that do not concern abortion. We have also explained why that is so. Rights regarding contraception in same-sex relationships are inherently different from the right to abortion because the latter uniquely involves what Roe and Casey termed potential life. Okay, so for all of you people out there that I've been hearing about, oh, he's going to do this, they're going to do that, these are just leftist people that are just throwing this shit out and it sticks. Gay marriage is going to be allowed. It's not, and I'll be honest with you, if they were going to overturn it, I would probably stand with you. Not the gay ones that hold dittos around their nail, but I will stand with you and say you have the right to get married. I believe that. I agree. And now I know we have some conservatives, Christian conservatives that may not.
I know. But if they want to go through the same, marital arguments and divorce proceedings and custody battles, if they adopt children or whatever, then hey, if that's what you want in life, go for it.
Yep.
Why should I stop in the way of somebody like that? They're as long as it's legal and they're adults. I don't care. Love who you love. It's just make sure it's adult and it's legal. That's
but the whole point of this Alito thing is that he is a justice and he is, he was a trial judge. He was a judge all the way through. All of these things that he referenced in there, he knows. So all these people out there that thinks they're experts about this and that, guys, this man knows what he's doing. Okay. Yeah, whether you agree with him or not. Okay. He actually went with the Constitution on this one. The Supreme Court did not abolish abortion.
Nope.
The Supreme Court said it is not a federal issue. That's what they said. That's it. That's it.
That's
A
it.
state can decide what they want to do. You don't like the state you live in because they don't allow you to kill babies.
Move.
There's other states that have it.
That's right. And other countries. You can align yourself with China and North Korea because they had very similar abortion laws as we had.
Exactly.
Which is basically abortion on demand. So, it's true. Yep. It's whenever you wanted one. There's somewhere in this country you could go get one. Whenever you wanted an abortion. No matter what trimester you're in. It's true.
Horrible.
Very true, Jim. So, horrible. So, let me real quick, Jim, jump onto some of the wackos that have come out of the woodwork. You've seen them all. I mean, if you've seen, so we've talked about the ones that there's all the Hollywood liberals, all the Grammy award winning artists that are all just like, yes, you should be able to kill babies whenever you damn well want. Here's a problem, though. Nurse practitioner employed at Illinois Health Center announces she will no longer prescribe white conservative men Viagra in the wake of this decision. Jim, it's going to be a problem for you. A nurse practitioner at Sarah Bush Lincoln Health Center proudly announced she will no longer prescribe white conservative men Viagra after the Supreme Court decision. Quote, I prescribe meds. I can also choose not to prescribe them. Absolutely true. It's within her right. Yeah. So from now on, if you are a white male who votes conservative, your penis needs to ask God for the power to rise. No more Viagra. Right. That's what she said. So, first of all, sweetie, are you going to ask for voting records? I mean, how are you going to know? For one,
first of all, that was a racist comment.
It was a racist comment.
White. Why white? I'm sure there were some black people that voted that they wanted pro-life. I don't think all of them are pro-choice.
I think so. I don't think so either.
But you know what?
You need to have God have your penis right.
If that person wants to do that, fine. I'll go somewhere else if you need it. People can go somewhere else. It's just like the whole thing with baking a cake for a gay wedding. Okay, fine. This baker won't do it, but go somewhere else.
That's what I'm saying. When she says I prescribe meds and I don't have to, you're right. You can take if you're a private practice, you take whoever you want in you can also kick out who you don't.
I can argue what she said was against the law because she basically stated white conservative men.
It's hate and discrimination.
But from the left, that's not discrimination.
No, it's not. Well, nothing. Yeah, like that is discrimination. But just so you know, Jim, if you ever experience any problems down there, you will have to talk to your penis and then ask God for the power for it to rise.
Rise.
Just so you know. That's on that one. Also, last one on this.
What happens if they're gay, though? Now they're really going against them because they're gay white men, too. So now... Because I'm sure gay men, gay men have problems getting it up after a while. So, but no, I guess they get it. They would get it because she's.
Why? They're a gay white conservative.
Yeah, I know, because there are some gay conservatives out there. So, okay.
A lot of them. A lot of them.
All right. So, where's the LGBTQ plus community now?
Go after her. She goes by at Shauna Lynn 75 on Twitter. This is crazy. But also, here we go, Jim. A young woman upset over the recent Supreme Court ruling returning abortion decisions to the states. Again, I don't know how we cannot emphasize that enough. Is claiming that she mailed her period blood to Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh.
I saw
that. So if you look at this, she's got an envelope. It's addressed to Brett Kavanaugh and is addressed, because they've released them all, thank you, everybody. And in there is supposed to be period blood. The woman opens the video saying, quote, "You know what's funny is you all thought I was kidding. Is this a life you're saving?" on a little yellow sticky note that she affixed to a plastic bag containing the alleged period blood that is stuffed into a letter-sized envelope with 4 stamps on it addressed to Brett Kavanaugh, Supreme Court Justice. She dropped it in the mailbox. The video has interpreted clips of the message, F you, USA. The brief video ends with the woman saying, I'm a effing patriot. No. The woman posted a follow-up video encouraging others to mail their period blood to the Supreme Court. Quote, I just feel like the way that we've protested in the past has not worked very well. Now, I'm not advocating for burning down buildings. I'm not advocating for it, but trauma and destruction's kind of the thing that I love. So if you guys want to join me in mailing blood from your uterus to the Supreme Court, I already took the effing bullet and did it first. So let's do it. Come on. You guys don't want to keep that shit in your house. Just mail it. It's just going in the trash anyway. So, Jim, maybe you can help by sending your hemorrhoid blood to a Supreme Court justice if you so choose. There's a good chance this woman has committed several criminal offenses regarding the mail. Regarding the mail and targeting a Supreme Court justice with bodily fluids.
And she admitted it. I mean,
yeah, she admitted it. But with Biden's Justice Department in charge, odds are nothing will come of it. There's a brief update to it. The poster of the video says she has limited comments on them on TikTok and posted that she was blocked on Twitter by libs of TikTok.
Yeah.
So the woman, Tate Morgan, that is her name, says in her Twitter about that she is a comedian and most of what I said is satire.
Right.
Oh, look. Yeah. So it's just a joke. Okay. She's just kidding, Jimmy.
Because now she realized she just broke a lot of federal laws.
Yeah, she's like, oh, shit. Shit. I'm sending bodily fluids through the mail addressed to a Supreme Court justice.
Now we want to talk about federal laws being broken. Now,
maybe. And then, Jim, wow. I guess I'll get into this a little bit later. I'll get into this one a little bit later. It also goes along the same lines of some of this and what people are doing, but I can add it on to other things. Let's go on to another segment. You're up again, Jim.
Okay, I have some interesting things I want to bring up, and I'm going to talk about what school districts are doing now for parents' requests for information. But before I get into that, I just wanted to add this story that I saw from the Gateway Pundit. I
love those stories.
Apparently, Seattle had a gay pride parade.
Imagine that.
There were fully nude bicyclists flashing children.
So I got ouch. I mean, did the bikes? Was there seats on the bikes?
Yeah, there were seats. But
I didn't know they
the thing that disturbs me, the cops said it was okay. Isn't there public indecency laws out there? I mean, the cops say it's okay.
How did they? Come on. First, I got many questions for you and issues. First of all, I don't believe riding around on a bike naked, for one, is comfortable, or two, there seems to be a lot of chafing there. But two, go on.
No, go ahead, two. I want to hear two.
No. Two, I don't believe that you could just ride around the streets of any major city naked. And three, who's bringing the kids to a gay parade?
Oh, wait till you see who kicked it off.
Oh,
the Boy Scouts kicked off the Pride Parade in downtown Seattle. The Boy Scouts carried gay pride flags.
Are they allowed to be called Boy Scouts
They had
anymore?
men dressed in leather carrying whips march down the street. Fully nude adults were in close proximity to children at the fountain in downtown Seattle. Post-millennial reporter Katie Daviscourt asked Seattle PD officers about the nudity in front of children, and they said it's permissible under the city's indecent exposure laws.
How is that permissible?
My favorite one is the end of this story. It says, God help us. Oh my God.
Now you and I mean, we are fully supportive of the gay community.
Absolutely.
We are.
Absolutely.
We are. It's absolutely fine. Even they've got to be sitting there thinking. I hope they are sitting there thinking, how is this permissible? How can this be allowed? Why would you want to do it in front of children unless you're some sort of, and listen, do I blame the gay nude bike rider?
No,
I really don't. In this case, I blame the damn parents who are bringing children to this. And what's the reason for it? Is it because, we need to be acceptance of all culture? That's not a way to be acceptance of the gay lifestyle, is it?
Yep.
I mean, go on, Jim.
Okay. Well, so what I want to get into is a lot of the stories that you and I talk about.
Jim, before we go on, why do I feel that somewhere at some time, there's going to be your face superimposed on a gay bike rider?
I was just looking at that and I'm thinking, that's probably going to happen.
Why do I feel that's going to happen?
Stay tuned for fans of our Facebook page. I don't know. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about is because as we've been talking about the great news that we got going down, we get to go down to the Moms for Liberty group.
Yep.
And it's awesome. It's inaugural. It's the first ever. So it's really cool.
Oh, it's going to be
I've
great.
got a couple stories.
Part of the media crew.
I've got a couple stories here that I'll go over real quick that I think need to be paid attention to because it falls in line of what we're talking about. But the article from Fox News states school districts pricing out parents on record requests by charging tens of thousands of exorbitant fees.
So say that again. Explain. Go into the story.
What it's saying is parents around the United States are being charged tens of thousands of dollars, including some fees into the millions for public record requests in their school districts.
Wait a second. Okay. They're being charged if they want to get their
in other words,
records.
And I've got some money here.
Okay.
But I'll give you an example. A parent from Frederick County Public Schools in Maryland told Fox News Digital that she requested emails that spanned 1 month between various entities and was asked to pay $5,000. I never got the records because that's well beyond what I'm willing to pay for information my tax dollars already pay for. So
it's extortion.
Yeah. So in Oregon, the Oregon Department of Education slapped a $10 per email review in various requests. For example, to review 963 emails, the fee is $9,630. So, Dale, I think we figured out how we're going to fund this stuff that's going on. Another parent sent an ODE. Another request a parent sent into ODE, which is Oregon Department of Education, came back with a fee of $1,525. You may narrow the scope of your request to reduce your overall cost estimate.
You can do what? Say it again.
You can modify your request to reduce.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Oh, okay. So I need no records. That's the only way to modify your.
So the comment was, how could I narrow my request? Is this not a single document? I do not understand what you mean by narrowing or how one document costs $1,525 to download and email to me, or why 3 hours of time is needed by IT to, again, download one document and email it. Please explain. That's what the parent asked this question. In Rochester, Michigan, they never responded. In Rochester, Michigan, the district reportedly charged fees as high as $18 million to complete their requests. I don't know what they're hiding, but they're definitely hiding information. Why make it so difficult for parents to get public records if they do not have something to hide? Now, folks, before you go crazy out there in San Francisco, this is not an email where a teacher sends another teacher maybe making fun of a kid. That's not what this is, okay? Or a personal email between teachers that they are regarding the children of these parents or groups that these kids are involved in through the school, wanting to know what the curriculum is, wants to know all this stuff. This is everything. These are requests on from curriculum to what are you saying to my kids and stuff like that. So
correct.
That's what this is. Okay. It's not, it's not telling teachers
I'll be
how
very
to teach.
interested. Yeah, I'll be very interested to hear some conversations regarding that at the
because
summit.
I'm not going to bore everybody, but trust me, there's more money out there that's being charged to get information that should already be public records, and it's just horrifying.
Yeah, I mean it's extortion.
Now the last person I have here, real quick, North Korean defector.
Oh,
I am terrified of the massive indoctrination coming from the left in public schools. North Korean defector is terrified of the massive indoctrination coming from the left in public schools.
And she would know. Honestly, she would know.
If anyone would be able to tell you, it is this.
It's North Korea.
Her name is Yeonmi Park, who defected from North Korea on a quest for self-preservation and freedom, told Fox News Digital that she is worried freedoms are being lost in America amid what she describes as the left-wing indoctrination in K-12 schools. This is just, okay. Yeah. This is exactly the dictator's handbook. I mean, it's Adolf Hitler's youth, Mao's youth, Kim Il-sung's youth. They always go for the young children because they have not lived their life enough to have critical thinking skills. Their brains are very plastic, very malleable, and easy to observe information and believe it, and they're innocent, she said. And big killers who want to seize power from the people, they always mobilize the youth. And that is the truth that worries me as a parent myself, that I cannot protect my child's right in America. Okay. Now, she was born in North Korea, and as she was escaping, she ended up becoming in a child sex ring in China. And she escaped that. Okay. So this is a woman who's lived it. Yeah, this is a woman who's lived through that. So the thing about North Korea is that the thing about North Korea is that it is so oppressed to the point we don't even have the word for oppression. Okay, so in North Korea, there is no word for oppression. Okay? There's actually even the control of the language in words. Huh.
Yeah.
And this is why it concerns me where something called speech codes, the thing we cannot talk about in America right now. So what she is saying is this woman who experienced bad things in North Korea was lucky enough to get out. Is saying what she is seeing in schools in the United States is similar to what she saw in North Korea. Here's my favorite one, quote that she says. A lot of people in America who are born into freedom, they never had to fight for their freedom. I had to fight for freedom. I fought for it. So I think it gives me a unique perspective and a unique appreciation for what I have here. She's raising a 4-year-old son in Chicago. And then says she is concerned about the indoctrination, not in the daycare she sends him to. But she can't afford to stay home, and she can't afford to homeschool her kid. But the indoctrination includes tenets such as white privilege and white guilt. She said is exactly what North Korea did in the name of equity.
Holy crap.
In America, it's all about this hierarchy of victimhood. How many times have we said that? I see that my son is learning their school who is privileged, who is guilty. So basically what the school is teaching children is who's privileged, okay? Who's guilty of all this stuff. All right?
Let me guess who it is.
White people.
White children.
So, the definition of socialism means giving all the power to the government. They decide the means of production. They despise every aspect of our lives. In North Korea, they say, okay, we're going to make sure everybody is equal. So give us your land. So we gave the regime all our land. So they abolished private property. Nobody could own anything. State owns it. And this is when they took everything. Did not give anything back to us. And then when we gave all of our rights, they didn't give anything back. That's the reality of socialism. So, folks,
that's true.
This is a woman who experienced life in North Korea who sees similarities to what is going on.
Exactly.
So, whether you like what's going on or not, or whether some of these people that sit out there and say you can't tell teachers what to teach in school, that's not what's going on here. But when we talk about indoctrination, this is a scary thought. This is something that kids, that article there was scary because I think all of us are very familiar with North Korea. All right. I mean, they don't even have a word for oppression, folks. I mean, so they don't even know they're being oppressed.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's all controlled by what? By language in the schools. And gee, Dale, I think we've talked about an awful lot of this stuff. Moms for Liberty have talked a lot about this stuff.
Indoctrinating and grooming your children to be complacent and to obey and to whatever their curriculums are. And and so if it wasn't for groups like Moms for Liberty, I don't know. I don't even know if you and I would even know what's happening.
No,
you know what I mean? Here. That's how incredible it is, but it is happening here too. And now you have somebody from North Korea, probably one of the most oppressed nations in the world, telling you that there's a lot of similarities of what happened there and what's going on here.
And the last thing I want to talk about, and real quick, we won't go into, but I want to ask people out there. Since January 11th of 2021 through June 23rd of 2022, we have had 100 incidences at our food processing centers, whether it be fire. Majority of them are fire. We've had massive chickens die.
Say the dates again for me.
From January 11th of 2021. Gee, that coincides with something. To 6/23 of 2022.
That's what I thought. I was just going to double check, make sure they're.
Dale, you're right too. This is where you and I are so, because
we're geniuses.
I was going to say that gee, doesn't that coincide with, these are fires at these plants, or at one incident, there's 5,347,000 chickens destroyed at an egg farm in Buena Vista, Iowa.
How?
It does. Now, the unfortunate though, it said they were destroyed. So I don't know if there was sickness going around or whatever. But in Wisconsin, 2,750,000 just a week prior to that was killed.
Come on.
So you look at it's mostly chickens and turkeys, so it's poultry. Okay, so if you start seeing the poultry prices go up, folks, look, I'm not saying.
Don't forget about the 10,000 cows
that was in here
dropped
too.
All at once.
That was in here
because
too.
of the heat.
But
it's hot in Arizona. Cows aren't dropping.
But I gotta tell you, I'm going to put the tinfoil hat on. I'm sorry.
You don't even have to. There's something going on.
What the hell? I mean, this is from January 11th of 2021. We have had 100 incidences where either processing plants have burnt down, or poultry or meat have died.
Yeah. How?
Guys, come on, even you people in San Francisco have to think, well, this something's not right.
This is weird.
Here. It's
even weird for San Francisco people. You're right.
So, I don't know. I just wanted to point that out because that just seems very, very scary to me. So a lot of it, when you see prices go up on meat, on poultry, on stuff like that, this is why.
Or the availability's not there.
Exactly.
There's shortages of it all,
So maybe we should, as a country, we should stop trying to get this abortion thing going. Maybe we should stop with Second Amendment issues. Maybe we need to look at the inflation. The cost of everything that goes up, the fact that people don't want to work anymore, the fact that our children are not being educated properly. Maybe we should put a level of concern within this country, and maybe we should go down that list first. And maybe abortion, folks, in all honesty, we were pro-life, but I lived my life. I did too. I didn't stop living. I didn't protest. I didn't scream. I didn't yell that abortion was going on. I went on with life because I realized I can't put my feelings into other people. Okay?
Correct.
But we can all agree that the economy sucks. All right?
Yep.
We can all agree that food prices are going up. So we see stories like that, and it's like, holy shit, what's going on?
What's going on?
So, folks, this administration is a wreck. And
it's a train
I will
wreck
put Mayra
doubt.
Flores up against AOC any day of the week. You can have AOC. I'll take Mayra Flores. And oh, by the way, did you see Nancy Pelosi push her daughter?
Nancy push.
Watch it, guys. We are not kidding.
Watch the video.
Go out and watch the video.
She shoves her.
When she was being sworn in, she kind of elbows her out of the way a little bit. I mean, it is absolutely. If it was obvious. Donald Trump doing that to somebody,
there would have been a third impeachment.
There would have been an impeachment trial. So anyway,
exactly.
So that's what I have there.
Good. No, that's good information. Let's go on to our last segment. What do you think? So, Jim, all the while that your close friends in Antifa and the far, far left were burning down buildings and burning American flags and attacking the Arizona state capitol and charging into the Wisconsin capitol, which isn't insurrections, by the way, just in case anybody wants to know. They're just peaceful.
Right.
Protests.
Exactly.
Yeah. None of those were insurrections. All the while that happened, a true constitutional infringement took place, and that is the Second Amendment. On Saturday, Joe Biden, oddly enough, under the news stories being all about abortion, signed a gun control bill that 29 Republicans joined in supporting. This in the Senate, the bill was supported by 15 Republicans, including one of our good friends, and we champion for him all the time, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell.
Nope.
That guy's got to go.
Come on,
then
Kentucky. John
Cornyn of Texas, Lisa Murkowski, the usual one, Susan Collin, another usual one, Lindsey flip-flopping Lindsey Graham, another one, and of course Mitt Romney. They all supported it. McConnell said on the Senate floor that the bill, quote, would make our communities and schools safer without laying one finger on the Second Amendment for law-abiding citizens. Its key provisions are hugely popular with the American people. So let me tell you a little bit. There is a certain percentage of this $750 million that is going to go towards what they call school safety. Don't even know what that entails yet. There's going to be a portion of that goes to supporting mental health. I don't know what that entails yet. But the problem with this one is the red flag law. It helps expand the red flag law, and we've talked about it briefly, and anybody who doesn't know the red flag law, it basically states that if you see or hear or come across somebody, anybody, and you feel that they may not be mentally stable enough to operate a firearm, or you feel they're a danger because they own firearms, you can report those people. And now there's authority to come remove their guns. There's now the authority to have them looked at mentally and perhaps even locked up because of it. That's what red flag laws do, guys. So just wanted to kind of pass that on briefly, that was signed into law on Saturday, which is a complete infringement of our Second Amendment. That is a right. And the Second Amendment clearly states, thou shalt not be infringed upon.
Right.
The words are there, people. And that is what we should be talking about. But go on. Yeah, go on, Jim. I just wanted to briefly bring that up before I move on. But
see, that's what bugs me about when you look at laws. that are written and put out like this one. Most people look at it and say, oh, okay, I see that it's going to be harder for 18 to 21-year-olds. There are going to be more background checks. Okay, I can live with that. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I can live with it.
Correct.
But they don't pay attention to those red flag laws. Now, look, I'm going to give you a scenario.
Guys. The hand behind their back.
I'm going to give you a scenario, okay? And I know people are going, oh, you're being... No, I am not being ridiculous on this. You are in a state that has, let's say Illinois, strictest gun laws around. You have a situation where you had an argument with a neighbor, or a neighbor doesn't like you, but the neighbor knows you have firearms. So the neighbor's left, liberal. You're conservative. They call the police, which is what these red flags laws are, and they put a complaint in about you owning a gun. So now the police show up at your house, not to take the gun yet. Show up to your house and ask you questions, kind of look at what, where you're at. I guarantee you they'll come in and they'll look. And if you don't have them put away, if you don't have them secured, there could be some issues, but we'll move on from that. So then they go back and they say, okay, well, here's what we found. So now they go out and they do checks on Facebook. So you've got a judge who has to issue, at least in Indiana, you have to issue a court order to come in and get your house.
A warrant.
Oh, yeah. And
search
that's warrant. A court order. Yeah. And so, anyway, so
I know.
Now it goes to that judge. Oh my God. Yeah. They're kind of crazy because of their views. So let's go get it. So here we go. Boom, boom. They come into your house to take your guns. That's what it is. I know you guys are sitting there saying, oh, that's not what's going to, it is. That's how it's going to happen.
That's a red flag. That's how a red flag law works.
That's how gun control is going to come in. And those stupid Republicans who I guarantee you, if you go and look at them, they're not running for re-election anytime soon. Okay.
Nope.
So they say they have time for people to forget. Do you think the constituents of those individuals forget about the Second Amendment rights? That's what got them voted in, probably. One of the biggest fundamentals. So, so all of you out there who think this is a great bipartisan bill, it is not. And the red flag laws are very dangerous. Now, I'm not worried about it in the state of Indiana. I am not worried about it. But if we ever turn to have a liberal attorney general, I love our attorney general right now, but a liberal governor, liberal attorney general, this scares me.
And a liberal House and Senate, state House.
Well, I don't know if that'll ever happen in Indiana, but it is possible to get a governor and an attorney general. So,
sure, it is possible. It's possible to happen anyway.
But Indiana, it's been a while, and you're right. Never mind, because there's, especially if
there's ways around that
mail-in voting and stuff, and so I hear. So I hear. Yeah, anything like back from 2016.
Yeah, Jim. Let me move on to this real quick. Let me. I
said 2016 stolen from her.
I heard.
We're not going to get knocked off. We're fine.
I heard what you said. Jim, real quick, back to abortion real quick, and then I'll get on to something else. But the New York State attorney, Letitia James, told reporters that New York State will pay for women to come to the Empire State to abort their babies.
Illinois is doing it too.
That New York State will pay. New York will set up a fund that will pay for travel, housing, and daycare. Do you get that?
Okay,
people?
That's
and
kind
daycare
weird.
And free abortions for all takers. So New York State. Now, how did they get that money? New York State.
They're going to have to raise taxes. I don't know.
From taxes in general.
Illinois.
So
Illinois
your taxes in New York.
Yep.
They're going to get your tax money is going to go to pay for people to come from out of state to come there, kill babies, and also provide daycare for the babies they wanted. Before they decided to kill babies.
I guess that's possible. Yeah.
That's the part that killed me. Pay for daycare. Well, that's nice of you. lastly, real quick, a 29-year-old man pretending to be a woman.
I'm sorry.
Just can't get enough of this pretending. I love some of these. The 29-year-old man pretending to be a woman took first place against a 13-year-old girl at a skateboarding competition in New York this past weekend. Female skateboarder Taylor Silverman blasted Ricky Tress, who's the person, the one trying to be the woman, the adult male who crushed a 13-year-old child in Saturday's contest and took home the $500 prize. Quote, male wins women's skateboarding finals and money at the Border Open New York City presented by DC today, Silverman tweeted. Ricky Tress, also known as Ricky and Tress, took top spot in the women's division at the Border Open today held in New York City, taking home a $500 prize for the first place win. Tress, a 29-year-old trans-identified male, came in first place against 13-year-old Shiloh Katori. Of the 6 competitors, 4 were under the age of 17, with the youngest being 10 years old. How's a 29-year-old kid? In 2021, Tress became the first trans-identified male to attempt to qualify for Olympic women's skateboarding, submitting a virtual run for the USA National Skateboarding Championship. Tress was unable to meet the short deadline to submit a hormone levels test, but was later told his testosterone was much higher than the required levels to compete in the female category. Around this time, Tress was interviewed by Robert Brink of USA Skateboarding and revealed he was over 190 units off of the required testosterone reduction needed to be able to qualify in the female category by International Olympic Committee standards at that time. I think they've changed that now. During the interview, Tress expressed ambivalence towards reducing his testosterone levels and even stated he was comfortable where he was at in his transition. Taylor Silverman recently spoke out against biological males taking over the skateboarding competitions. I am done being silent, Silverman said. A 29-year-old male once again took home first prize from a 13-year-old girl in a competition. This 13-year-old girl, I'm sure, has aspirations of going to either like the X Games or going to the Olympics.
Or $500 for a 13-year-old girl would be pretty good.
Pretty nice for her hard work. And a 29. There, are you telling me there was no age limit? Like literally, I mean, what's next? A 30-year-old, black 6'10" man destroys Dobbs Elementary School women's basketball tournament. I mean, what is happening here?
According to the women's soccer team, so what? Shouldn't matter. That 13-year-old girl, shouldn't matter. Who cares?
It's only one incident in one state, right?
Well, according to them, she should have been aborted. But I'm sorry, that was pretty bad. But terrible. But yeah, this is what we've been talking about, Dale. Yeah. This is what this is what
continues.
Because go back and read what he is. The very beginning.
Yep. He, a 29-year-old man pretending.
There you go.
To be a woman. He is so pretending he wasn't even close to the testosterone levels. See, he probably has higher testosterone than you and I over our 50s.
This is what you and I have been talking about. You're going to have these individuals that don't care. They hey, $500, that's awesome.
Guy went there.
Don't know why the guy wanted to do it. He obviously didn't stand a chance of competing in the men's divisions. Obviously. But yeah, guys, this is what we're talking about. I mean, for everybody out there that's sitting there, oh my God, they should be allowed to do this. No, because it leads to this.
It leads to this. It's people in jail are doing it so they can leave the male jails and have freaking free reign of any chick they want in the female jails. They're doing it in sports. They're doing it in schools. But none of this has to do with the indoctrination of right? None of this has to do with the indoctrination of children and showing. It's a whacked out left. This is, I don't know what's going on in America.
Well, I will say this.
I don't understand it.
The one thing with this abortion bill, we've actually heard Nancy Pelosi, Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren, AOC, all say women. They all said women.
They
do not tell a woman what she can.
What? Wait,
didn't you just
wait a second?
See? So now we know what you and I have known since the time we were in school. And we're talking kindergarten. This is a girl. This is a boy.
See,
I am so glad they clarified it. I am so happy.
I am too,
because they did. They clarified it,
and they clarified that, and I don't understand their.
Now, when I called somebody out on that,
was I talking or was I not talking? Was I in the middle, like literally the middle of saying something, Jim, or was I not? Can you hear me in your headphones, or am I just? Am I here?
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Jim. Yours was so important. You need to say it right now. You asshole.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What was I even saying?
I don't know.
Well, how could I know? You weren't listening.
I know. I was thinking about what I was going to say.
You say the quiet stuff out loud all the time. I don't even know what I was going to say at this point now. Jim, do you have anything else to add to this show besides your rudeness?
Other than I was going to say that I had an argument over the weekend where I said, well, at least now you guys can identify what a woman is. I appreciate that. And of course, then it came back and said, way to change the subject on topics. I said, I didn't do that.
Change the
subject. So from that
we
point forward, whenever we talked about it, it was a, how did they put it? A menstruating person.
Oh, God.
Which is a woman.
But if they're pregnant. Yeah, but it's crazy. Well, wait. When they're pregnant, they stop menstruating. So who is it then?
When you argue with the left, it's funny. It's funny.
It's like literally arguing with a.
And to be honest with you, I didn't really care. I just love to get it going, and I got a lot of going. It was great.
Oh, I did too.
I was pretty much, my privilege that I had, and all sorts of fun stuff that was mentioned in there.
I was privileged. I was sexist. I had no right as a male to talk about this. I have no idea what the Constitution is all about, because it clearly was given as a right in the Constitution.
Yeah, and real quick, folks, if you say that you hate America, and then you call yourself a patriot, no. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways, Jim, I think what I remembered what I was about to say was that I just don't understand.
Oh, I have a new thing that I want to.
I'm gonna punch you in the head. I'm gonna literally stab you.
I did that on purpose.
I know you did. I'm gonna stab you on purpose.
What were you saying?
This is gonna happen. There's gonna be a live murder at the summit, and nothing. I'm not even gonna.
I bet you we'll get a lot of hits.
Tell you or the. I'm not.
I want to know.
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm sorry. I was just. Come on. What you were going to say?
No, not going to tell you. Not going to tell you.
The people want to know.
The people
do it for the people.
The people don't want to
do it for the people.
I will do it for the people. Next show. Next show. Stay tuned Thursday, people, and you can thank Jim for this.
And I probably won't be here. So
and write Jim letters. Love letters. He loves it. Jim, no, we're running late. I'll save it for next show because it wasn't probably as important as it. It's nothing, but it was very profound. It probably would have saved lives, but now we got to stay tuned until Thursday.
It's my fault
for that. That's all right. Guys, follow Jim and I currently on YouTube and on Rumble and on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify and anywhere you hear podcasts. Please go to our Facebook page. 2 Guys, 1 Coup. Jim often contributes there, and it would be. Anyways, go to our Facebook page.
I do. I just don't do it as much as you do, but I put a lot of things on there. And
Jim, I just take it easy, buddy. You and I are having problems today, my friend.
You're hurting my feelings.
You lefties, cupcake, snowflake. See us on TikTok. We're also on there. We're getting a lot of love on TikTok.
They love us.
We are the worst human beings on earth on TikTok. I love it. Guys, thank you so much for listening and contributing and paying attention. We're still super excited about where we get to go next week. Currently, unless they, listen to this show, then maybe they'll be like, we can't have these two fighting.
Actually, it'll be kind of. They'll probably do it on purpose just to get us going. They want to see that live murder.
They probably will. Exactly. Guys, don't forget, I want to mention, I haven't mentioned it in a while. Go listen to our friend Mark Kramer, the Conservative podcast. He's, again, great friend, and we appreciate his help with everything. Jim, I've got nothing else to add. I do, but you got to wait till Thursday now. And do you have anything else to say?
No, because I get
right
yelled,
now at this moment.
I get yelled at. Huh? I get yelled at, so I'll save it to next week.
Will you? Okay. Next week. We got a show Thursday. You just gotta wait until next week.
On probation, I thought you said. I'll see you in a week.
For One Guy, One Coup. Stay tuned for One Guy, One Coup on Thursday. Jim, I am not Facebook. I will not ban you, my friend.
All right, cool.
All right, everybody. Jim, thank you for your contribution. As always, folks, thank you, and we'll see you all on Thursday.
Bye.